Hello, everyone. So I have a interesting kind of video for today. We recently got a Cane Corso. He's about 2.5, 3 years old. That's having quite a few issues. Um, Aggression towards the family. He's bitten several family members, apparently. We're noticing he's having issues in the kennel and getting kind of aggressive in the kennel and stuff like that. So I'm gonna kind of share some of the training process with y'all, so kind of y'all can see, what aggressive dogs act like and how we kind of deal with aggressive dogs. Um, so I'm gonna share that with y'all real quick. We're gonna hop over and kind of show you his behavior. So it's interesting kind of how he behaves, and um, once you start to work with dogs a lot, you can kind of break some of these things down and kind of come up with conclusions on why you think the dog behaves that way. Of course, with dogs and not being able to speak dog, obviously, you know, it becomes hard to get exact reasonings for everything, but you can kind of come to conclusions based on behavior contingencies and patterns that we see over a wide kind of variety of dogs that you work with. So, what's interesting about him, he's not reactive towards people out in public or when you kind of approach him. He's not very reactive. He kind of just investigates. Not overly social, but not super reactive. We see that when he's in a room with a barrier, like if there's a kennel or if he's in a car, we see that reactivity spike up a little bit. A lot of times, though, when we see this, this is directed towards strangers. What's interesting about him is he does it towards his family. His owners already have said that he kind of gets rowdy when they go near his kennel. While most dogs, the barrier aggression typically comes from the fact that they're concerned about the individual that's outside of the barrier. Reactivity a lot of times comes from a place of concern, fear, uncertainty. But when a dog is doing it towards people that he knows, then we have to look at, okay, is he really afraid? Because if you're afraid, then why are you doing it to someone that you know? So he does this to his family members. Corsos are known to be a little bit more dominant, which is what I think could be happening here. He could be trying to claim, space. He just doesn't want you around his kennel. A lot of times it's just deeper than just not wanting you around the kennel. There's bits and pieces of other emotions that are kind of in there. Nevertheless, I'll stop my yapping. We're gonna go ahead and kind of show you what this looks like, and then we're gonna have to fix it because I'm tired of it. Walk up to the kennel. We'll walk up to the front door. Go to the front door. Then he gets pretty frustrated near his kennel, and it's pretty consistent across the board, where he's getting kind of, so pretty worked up and frustrated when he comes near his kennel. The question is why? Why is he so frustrated? Why so frustrated when someone coming near the kennel? Is he scared? You can look at his body language and kind of decide what it could be. I'll let you kind of see his body here. There's a body language. What is he trying to communicate? Is it specifically the kennel that's bothering him? Is it me? Is it what I was shoving in his face? What causes such frustration? You'll be a good boy? You'll be a good boy? Huh? You'll be a good boy? No, that's not a good boy. You gotta calm down. Be a good boy. No. 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 Gotta be a good boy. Huh? Be a good boy. Good boy. No, 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 no. So definitely some stuff to unpack and kind of see here. But what's interesting too, yo, Luke. Guess Luke left. Let's see. So what's interesting is I'm one of the first people that he met, and he's getting worked up with me. Luke, one of the trainers, is now handling him. It seems like he doesn't get as worked up with Luke. So it's like he has picked a person to be more comfortable with. The good part, though, is outside of the kennel, he is quite a bit better. So the barrier really creates a lot of issues with him. Outside the kennel, he's a lot more receptive to investigating rather than being aggressive. It's interesting how he can be so aggressive behind that barrier, even when he knows who the person is. A lot of times you see some barrier stuff when they're kind of just concerned about who you are and what you're doing. With him, since he's seen me before and he's seen some other people before, and he does it to his family, that leads us to believe that he doesn't always do it when he's just concerned. He's got other motives behind doing it. So to tackle this issue, we're first going to give him time to decompress. So some decompression time is going to be good for him, even though it is annoying. We're going to try to ignore it for now. And then we can try to kind of condition some behaviors. So seeing if once he gets hungry, giving him like, different pieces of food that he might like when he's, being good and attempting to be quiet. But I have a feeling that he's not going to stop doing this behavior until he gets a correction for it. And the reason I feel that way is because he does it with his family and he knows his family. So there's some behaviors that are kind of, oh, he's just doing it because he's nervous. And there's behaviors where it's like he's doing it because he's dominant. So right now he could be a little bit nervous. And maybe that's why it's spiking every time he sees me. But I live here. And then also, kind of the concern is him doing it with his family and why he's so comfortable, going back to this behavior. So sometimes behavior contingencies become so normal for the dog that they just default to it without thinking. It becomes impulsive. So we have to show him another way to handle the emotion. We have to show him that if he's being dominant, he can't be so dominant. So that'll be a part of the process. And, we're going to work on it and see if we can improve it here in the next week or so.
Sit. I like how his back's turned to me. Come. Good boy. Good job, Ronan. Good. Good boy. Free.
Yeah, this is typically something that we do with probably a long
Down.
time.
Good.
Because what he
Good
tries
boy.
to do sometimes is he tries to kind of half-ass do behavior where it's like he's coming to the handler, but at the same time he's kind of looking at you and not completely committing to see. It's like, guess we'll take it.
I'm barely.
Good.
I'm not good. Sit. I don't like how I'm gonna go this way.
Oh, you did do that whole heel. Yeah. So, yeah, we do need horizontal.
Good. Come.
It's like he's thinking about
good job,
not
Ronan.
following the instructions, but then he thinks again. He's like, okay, let me go ahead and do it.
Good. Free. Free. This all goes into like him understanding he doesn't run it. Like he's not the leader. He doesn't get to decide when he goes through the doors. Yeah. Good. Good boy. Slow down. So we got Ronan here. We're here in Tanger Outlets, and we're gonna do some public work, some public training. And usually what I recommend when a dog is coming into like a public setting, especially when he's not used to it, is starting off with some basic skills, some basic loose leash behavior. So nothing really complex, just having him walk around in the lot and practice his skills in an environment that's less distracting than the environment that we're going to be in, which is the store. So go ahead and walk him this way. Free. And we're just going to do some loose leash walking every time he gets to the end of the lead. And really, you see how your arms outstretched? Your arms should be able to be at your side. And he needs to be kind of just not walking right beside you, but he shouldn't be making it to where your arm has to be outstretched. He should be worried about keeping pace with you there, but not in a super structured heel. So he can move to whatever side he wants to move to. He can sniff the ground. He can explore. He can go pee on things to a degree. Those are all okay, but the handler's arm shouldn't have to extend. That's when we're kind of worried about him kind of taking the handler for a walk and him not being mindful of where he is in reference to his handler. No.
Which, what people don't understand is you not being mindful, or a dog not being mindful of where his handler is at, is a sign that the dog is comfortable with leading the situation, with kind of taking a more dominant role. And, you know, it's not showing a lot of concern for, you know, the person who is handling him if he's just willing to take them, you know, anywhere. So that's all stuff that we want to make sure is ironed out before we go into a setting that is even more distracting. Now we're going to come to a stop here. So you see handler stops, dog stops. That's good. And then we're going to put him in a down.
Down.
Okay, and go ahead and praise him for that.
Good boy. Good job.
Now we're going to move into a healing behavior. So we're going to have him heal. So whenever you're ready.
Heel. Good. Good boy.
Praise him for that. Good.
Good. Good boy. No.
So there's another dog here. So that'll be good to see how he reacts to seeing the other dog. Any arousal is pretty much inappropriate, even if the dog is doing a lot. So you want to turn your dial up and get on to him if he doesn't, which he didn't. Once you really show dogs that their behavior isn't going to be appropriate, you tend to see behavior that's a lot better, even without having to tell them. So stop him at this doorway right here. That's what he needs to work on.
Good.
That's better.
Yeah, he's moving farther.
Okay, we're going to do the next doorway.
Heel.
So this door right here, we're going to stop him at the hey dude.
right there.
What kind of dog?
Nope.
That's Cane Corso.
What kind of dog?
Cane Corso. All right. Let's do heel.
Heel.
Seems like when Ronan sees people, he doesn't necessarily seem like he wants to say hi.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like very excited to like.
Right. He don't want to say
Like his
hi.
face looks very serious.
For real?
Like, I was watching his face when she did the like, when she was like, "Oh, you're a cute dog," or
Right.
and he didn't really look like he was messing with it.
Right.
Which maybe he just always looks like that.
Yeah.
But I don't ever see his tail wagging.
Yeah.
Like when he's like
Around, yeah.
around people
Right.
who are trying to say hi to him. He just doesn't
Right.
seem like he has a very like friendly demeanor
Yeah. Right.
towards the new people.
Yeah. Right.
So we're gonna do some work on a down stay. So once we get to these chairs, you're gonna sit in the chair and then have him down, and we'll sit there for 5 minutes.
Okay. Good. Down. Good. Good boy.
Then flip your lead to where you can get to it. Yeah. And then what we do is like call it a foot step. So you can put the lead underneath your foot
Oh.
and just step, just in case he makes some bad choice. Not saying he will, it's just precautions. All right, he should just be sitting there and watching when people pass by.